Yeah, just thought it was a good start. I mean, that was a point of emphasis for us, is to be able to start fast. So obviously offensively to move the ball once again and to move it in a few different ways, especially Jerry using his feet, I thought was really something that was key for us all night long. I thought we moved it well, just with a lot of the swipe bluff stuff that we were doing, and then obviously the special teams play was a huge play. That's something that we talk about a lot, but a lot of courage there from Jeff Sutton to be able to go down and knock a football out, and for us to be able to get on top of it and then go score touchdowns and not settle for field goals was obviously a huge part of the game to be able to start fast. And I think as the game went along, we played all right. There's a few things on defense I think that we can do better, just some errors that we got to be able to clean up here. And then second half, I thought decent in the third quarter again. I thought the guys did a good job of coming out and really, living up to the standard. And we talk a lot about it's us versus us. It's not about the other team. And then in the fourth quarter, we just got to do a better job there. We want to be able to play cleaner football and end that thing kind of, in a better fashion than we did. But all in all, they're hard to win. I thought we came in here and for the most part did what we needed to do to be able to earn a victory. And now we got to get ready to go on the road again and play a really good opponent.
Questions for the players?
Avery, feel good to get a couple interceptions for the defense a week after you guys just couldn't quite reel them in at Kansas State?
Yeah, it always feels good. Coach has been preaching us CTO, TTY, catch the ones that's thrown to you. So, we've been trying to make that a statement now and not have no more missed opportunities.
Where's the team's confidence here? Just the way you guys have started, the way you handled this one, going into a big matchup against Montana. What's the team's confidence level right now?
I think we're in a good position. It's us versus us, like Coach said. And, we respecting all teams, but we fear none. So that's that.
All right. Nate, what'd you think of your role here that's kind of developed and emerged at a really early part of your career?
Yeah, no, it's great. I love Fricty's giving me opportunities, and I just got to go out and make them. Ball thrown my way, I go get it. That's kind of my mentality going into every game.
What have you thought of Jerry Kaminsky through 2 weeks? What are your impressions of the quarterback UND has?
He's going to be really good. He's confident. He has swagger to him, and he puts the ball where it needs to be, and he makes plays. Like you saw it in K-State, you saw it today. He just makes plays. He's consistently good every single day, and then even just his leadership role, he's developed on the team. He's a great leader, coaching the O-line, just getting everyone in one unit.
Tight end seems to be a tough spot to play as a true freshman. What were your expectations coming into the program this year in terms of an ability to play immediately?
Yeah, I just came in just thinking, put my head down, just work. I'm going to try and do the best I can, and if they give me opportunities, I'm going to make the best of them, and I'm going to go out and perform. It's kind of just my mentality going into everything. Just put your head down, work, and people that work, it tends to be good, turn out good for them.
Avery, I don't know how many offensive plays Portland State had by the time you guys are leading 15-0. What does that do for a defense when you jump out to a lead like that? You don't change anything, or
you just keep the foot on the pedal. Honestly, like you don't let up, you don't start letting easy plays go, taking plays off. You just keep going, just keep punishing them. Honestly.
So Nathan, we touched on there. Pretty incredible day from you. How you feeling after 2 touchdowns there?
I'm excited, obviously, but I think I could have played a lot better. Had a lot of missed opportunities. That ball got thrown my way. I could have made better plays, but I'm just excited to keep learning from this game after game. Just learn and come back next week even better.
You played at Maple Grove in 2024. Pretty great program. I think you won a title with them. Do you think playing at that level kind of prepared you at all to take that next step?
Yeah, 100%. I played in U.S. Bank Stadium, sold out state championships. It obviously helps going into these crowds like this. I've played in front of a good amount of people, so it doesn't really faze me as much.
And how cool is it, too, to see another tight end in Coons get active, too, in the scoring?
Yeah, no, that was amazing. Trey's my boy. I was so happy for him. And just all the tight ends, Mason having a good catch, Watson, all the tight ends getting involved, Grant. It's amazing. I love seeing it.
Is that a pretty tight room?
Yeah, no, we're super tight. We're going out to eat, talking, joking. You know, Coach Haug he makes it a tight group, and we've all just become really good friends. It's awesome.
Anything else for the players? Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you guys, man. Good job. Congrats.
Appreciate you. Hey, I can take this table.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll continue with questions for Coach.
Coach, you come into this one and Beheimer and Stay are out. How are you feeling about where you sit with tight ends? You guys spread it out to a bunch of them today.
Yeah, I think from from spring ball to fall camp, probably the biggest jump in that group. Just as far as really, we needed a lot of improvement. I thought those guys really put their head down and went to work. Aiden and Hayden have really done a good job with their bodies throughout the summer months here, and then obviously to add Nate has been huge. It's just the day and age of college football right now is. We got like 60% of our roster that's in their first or second year. So you're not just going to have 60% of your roster on the scout team. Like, you're going to have to use some of those guys. And I thought, just you see him here talking, like the moment's never going to be too big for him. He's played in a bunch of important high school games. I don't know if US Bank was sold out for that game off of it, but he's played in a lot of important games. And it's awesome. Like, I just think, we saw it early on, when he got here, just a natural catcher of the football, and then can do some things afterwards too as well. And I mean, when you're a quarterback and you got a catch radius like that, like, you can miss, and he's going to be able to bring it down. So really a credit to Coach Haug and what he's been able to do, just improving those guys and really pushing those guys every single day. I think it's become one of the deeper positions on our team. He talked about it. Our two top guys were out tonight. They didn't play, both in boots, and I think we'll get Hayden State back next week. Beheimer's going to be maybe a couple more weeks here yet, but just the evolution and the development of those other guys. Trey Kuntz, a local guy that's really good in the block game off of it. I mean, he does a great job of owning the C gap out there for us, and really smart kid, too as well. So to be able to see him get rewarded, I mean, that's what this is about, man. You put in the work and do a good job, and plays like that just seem a way to be able to find you. So excited about that group, and really think that they've developed a lot, and excited what Coach Haug's been able to do with them.
The start you had, important to get. I mean, this is your head coach and home debut, a new era of UND football. Yeah, how big was it to jump out like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, on game day, I whoever's sitting on the sidelines coaching these guys at times, I feel like, that was never our emphasis, was, hey, new era, whatever, this and that. It was, go out there and play well. That was the most important thing for us, was to go out there and make sure that we live up to the standard every day. And even last week, I felt like there was plays that we could have did a better job with the process. We talk about the process a lot here, but just lining up correctly, communicating in the right coverage, with the right technique, with the right eye discipline. And sometimes you can go through games and have a positive result in the game and not go through your process and do it right. And I think that's something that we really try to hit on with our guys. And then it was the response too as well. We talk a lot about going 1-0 and treating every single day like, it's 4th and 1, like it's the last 2 minutes, in Manhattan, and really trying to beat an opponent on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday. And I think our guys did a good job of just, they'll buy into those messages, and I think our coaches do a good job of just making sure those messages are heard throughout the building all the time. And I do think, I look at our guys, the depth of our offensive line, and there's definitely some parts to our football team that I think are really close to where it needs to look like in order for us to be a championship football team. And then there's some other parts yet that we got a lot of work to do here yet in order for us to be able to really compete with the best teams, in FCS football.
And then just one more for me. What do you know so far about Bennett Walker?
I don't think. I mean, honestly, I think he probably could have went, like, if it was, the score was close, and I think that's sometimes the art of coaching is being able to manage a player. At times, I don't think it's going to be anything. He told me at halftime, he's like, hey, I can go if you want me to go off of it, and we just felt like, hey, we had some other guys that we wanted to get out there. I mean, Blewett needed a lot of run. We wanted to get Q out there. So it was good to see those two guys. Grant Nolan, obviously, another guy like Nate here that's shown up for 2 weeks and played really, really solid football for us. So I just don't think it was, one of those situations where it was in his best interest and our team's best interest to be able to go out there and try to force the issue and do something that, could maybe hold him out for next week, because we're going to need him next week for sure.
Why do you think the moments haven't been too big for Jerry in the first two starts?
I think, and I think this is sometimes the, not the path that most kids want nowadays. And he waited a year, and I think sometimes, waiting a year and really being able to evolve and be ready for the next phase of your career, I think is really important. Like I just think he was ready, right? And a lot of people, that go through those situations and maybe don't win a quarterback battle, it's easy for them to, hey, just leave and go to the next place and be like, hey, man, I want to play. And he didn't. I don't think he batted an eye. Obviously wasn't here, but just talking to him and talking to Coach Frichty, I think he knew that he needed to get better, and I think he approached it the right way. Like, if you approach this thing, I don't care if you're a coach or a player, with a growth mindset that you can get better and that you can improve, and that's the way that that Jerry approaches it, then you're going to have an opportunity to be able to do that. And I think, he needed time. And I just think, like, you talk to quarterbacks, and there's so many reps that you need and concepts and stuff like that in order to really truly understand, like, hey, what are we doing here? Like, why are we calling this play at this situation? What are we looking for? And I just think he was ready, and that was probably the biggest difference between him and Javance. You might even see it a little bit now. There's still some times where, Javance probably thinks he knows what he's going to see, but, it might change a little bit on him just because he hasn't had all those reps. You see the ball, get reloaded and him try to bring it back into his body a few times. I just think Jerry right now has a really good grasp of the offense. He's been in it the longest, and there's no substitute, for reps when it comes to confidence. And I think he's evolved now to the spot where, hey, man, I'm ready to be the starting quarterback, and I think that's the part that's pretty neat right now, is that he's taken this thing and run with it the last 2 weeks.
How did he react to, you brought in Javance, and, he, still had the starting quarterback from last year here, and he was going to face a really tough competition when he knew how did he react to that?
As far as just when we brought Javance in, you're saying? Yeah, we sat down, me and Coach Frichty and all three of those guys, and we're like, hey, man, like, we brought Javance in and said, hey, man, it's an open competition. We want to try to bring as much competition as we can into every room. I felt like we needed to get better there yet off of it. Just watching some of the things yet from a year ago. I think Simon obviously is a really good quarterback, too, as well in his own right. And offensively, did enough probably a few games last year that didn't go, our way. And really our offense moved the football and did a good job. But yeah, I think all those guys understood that, hey, man, I'm going to get graded every single day. I'm going to get feedback every single day. We start from, doing things in the weight room, doing things with strength and conditioning, with nutrition, and grading those guys. The starving board is something that we believe in here in the winter season and all the way up until training camp. And Jerry, won those competitions and graded out the highest. And then once we got to spring ball, I thought he was the guy who came out of spring ball kind of in the lead. And like we've talked about it before, it's been well documented. But the other guys were really coming. I think, there was a few days where he was trying to make every throw, kind of feeling like, hey, man, like, I got to do something here if I'm going to be the starting quarterback. And then, I just think the last week he just, said, hey, I just got to keep doing what I do best and just be me. And all of a sudden, I think, since then, he's really taken off here and not trying to win the job on every single throw, just trying to do what the offense, dictates. And I think the thing I really like about him right now is the ball's going all over the field, right? Like, he's getting through all of his progressions, getting through his progressions, in a good amount of time to be able to see it. And I think the guys understand that now on offense, that, hey, they might know they're the second and third progression as far as what we're doing, but they run their route at the right depth and the right timing, that there's a great opportunity that, hey, the ball might be coming to him, because he's not one of those guys that's just, hey, I'm on my first read and I got to stay on my first read. Like, he's doing a great job of being able to see what the defenses are doing and reading spins, post snap and stuff like that, and putting the ball like where it needs to be. So I've been excited, about him being able to be able to do that here consistently.
And what did you think of Javance today? He got his first extended play.
Yeah, obviously can do some things with his feet there, too, as well. I think, I think we need to do a better job of being consistent around him. I think sometimes that's, you got to play it into those factors too as well, as far as, hey, the receivers that are out there, they got to go out there and be able to win and know what's going on too as well. Like we totally busted on the strip sack off of it, like just ran completely wrong concepts and didn't do a very good job there. So, I mean, there's a lot of talent there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of talent there. I think, same thing that I talked about with Jerry a year ago. Javance needs to continue to improve, just because, you get all these accolades and all that kind of stuff doesn't mean that, hey, you just can't go to work every single day and get better. And he knows that's the thing I appreciate about Javance, is he knows that he still has things to be able to work on, and he knows that, hey, we're going to continue to coach him hard, because all those guys, but especially the quarterback spot, like you're one spot, you're one play away here, and especially what we're doing with Jerry now and things like that, like, hey, he's running the football a lot and doing those types of things. Like, we're doing that because we believe in Javance, too, as well. So yeah, I think we'll go back and watch it. It's hard to I don't want to say something that's wrong, just off of seeing kind of the body of work, but definitely feel like he showed you that there's some talent there running the football, and when it's not an arm talent problem at all. It's him just being able to, like I said, get through his progressions and do a good job of being able to put the ball, on the right guy at the right time. I think that's still something that he's still got to work on, and then just be, cleaner in the pocket with his lower half. Once you clean up his footwork, I mean, everything else I think will come there. So that's been a point of emphasis for him.